I was training for an adventure race. So I was running the Dipsy one afternoon, and I came off Suicide, which is really steep, and goes into this beautiful shaded area, and it was dappled, and the sun was really high, and this root was sticking up, and I didn't see it. And I caught my toe, but I caught it back here, so there was no recovery time. And I went down on my face really hard. I got a severe concussion, didn't really understand how bad it was, continued running over to Stinson, and I hitchhiked back. And then things got a bit strange, and they kept getting stranger, and I was committed 2 weeks later to this adventure race, which was a 12-hour event with kayaking and mountain biking and running. And so I continued to train, and then I did the race. And I made it through the race, but by the next Tuesday, I was in hospital. And nobody could figure out what was going on. It took a year to determine I had Lyme disease.
On top of the concussions.
Along with the concussion, along with Epstein-Barr, along with CBV, which is a virus that affects the heart. And they finally just said, and I mean, we did just about every possible test we could do. They brought in exotic infection specialists, and they finally just said, we don't know. And they sent me home. And so I went to my friend's, Tirth, and I was at his house for about a month. I was in this dark room. I couldn't handle any light. And then I left Tirth, and I went to Jamboree's. And I was there until the following May in a room. So this happened in July. My car was parked at my office until May. It was the first day I was able to get out and go pick it up and ride and be back on my own. During that time, I had a real chance to sit and look at what was important in my life, to be very still, because I couldn't do anything but be still. And I realized that I needed to have priorities, and I needed to have a few priorities that I would not compromise. And then everything else could go on around in life. I could be pushed around in any way. So I chose those. And one of them was nutrition, one of them was exercise, one of them was my family. Because I went overnight from being a practitioner, fairly successful, being an athlete, fairly successful, being a parent, fairly successful, and every identity I had was gone instantly. And I couldn't even thank somebody for a glass of water. It was really a wake-up call. So I just did everything I could. I started doing Sudoku when I could read. When I just continued to work every single day to make myself better in every possible way. We're talking about superfoods here. I had gotten back to a certain level, but mentally, I would find myself driving and not knowing where I was going, and sometimes not knowing where I was. I would find I didn't want to enter in conversations because I was going to lose words, and I wouldn't know what to say, and it was embarrassing. I couldn't, for a long time, couldn't be around anybody for any length of time because it was too much stimulation. So I started back with spirulina, and then one day I was giving John a ride home, and he was telling me about, I believe it was his girlfriend's mother had Alzheimer's. Sabina's mom had Alzheimer's, and he gave her some Neurobrite, and that she was doing some better with that. And I took the bottle, and within 2 weeks there was a really noticeable difference in my mental acuity. And then I continued. Then I got started with the hydrocell and microhydrant, and I used that in my training. So I put those things together. I was biking at that time. When I did the microhydrant, the hydrocell, and the spirulina, I went 1 week. I had worked up to 125 miles a week. The next week I did 200 miles. The next week I did 200 miles. And the next week I did 300 miles. And that was a difference in my ability to recover and my performance. And now StemKine. And I know Kevin is going to talk about StemKine in a minute, but I want to just tell you the results that I've seen. I made a list because I didn't want to forget it, and I forgot the list. The first thing I noticed was my fingernails. I'm cutting them a couple times a week or more, and they're hard. They were soft, and now they're just. When I'm washing my hair, it feels like I have wood on the end of my fingers. The second thing I noticed was sleep. I lay down, I go to sleep, I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm awake, and I'm ready to go. Ever since I was really ill, my whole recovery process, it's like I have to get up over this level of fatigue to do my day. And all of a sudden, that's gone. I feel, it was about a week ago, I just went, God, I feel normal. This is what it's like to feel normal again. You know?
That's normal.
Actually, Lauren, I think you said you feel 29 is what you said about a week ago.